Hiyo guys, happy Sabbath, happy Marikana Day, and happy Saturday. Welcome back to my channel. One thing you should remember about President Ramaphosa is that he ain't a fool. Our president knows what he's doing. Not just him, together with the ANC, they know what they're doing. They know why they even formed the ad hoc committee. Everything that you see happening is planned, is happening intentionally. It's not happening by mistake, and they're ensuring that they control the narrative.
I know how the state works. I worked in government myself, so I know what I'm talking about. A president is client number one of our intelligence services.
Absolutely.
They report to the president.
Yeah.
The president is supposed to get briefings, intelligence briefings, every single day in the morning. Before he begins his activities, he's supposed to be told what is happening in the country. So there is absolutely nothing that Mkhwanazi knows that Cyril Ramaphosa does not know.
Such an important point, actually.
So this idea that there must be a commission of inquiry to investigate as if the president does not know what is happening is absolute nonsense. In fact, he is insulting our intelligence as a society. He knows. He even knows more than what Mkhwanazi knows. So there is absolutely nothing for him to find out.
I definitely agree with Prince Mashele. So as you guys know, that after the allegations that were made by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi, an ad hoc committee was created to investigate the allegations that are made by the general. It just so happened that on Thursday they had to have the terms of reference document where all political parties have to have an input in what forms part of the terms of reference. The terms of reference are important in this context because it is going to assist the parliament on how they're going to conduct the whole investigation, what they're going to ask witnesses, what they're going to look at. It's just to give them direction as to how they're going to have an orderly investigation and process within the 6-month period that they've been given. But on Thursday we saw them spending more than 5 hours trying to draft this document. And one of the things that I wanted us to look at to show that the ANC, they know what they're doing. Cyril Ramaphosa knows with his ANC what they're doing, and they're trying to sway everybody. They're trying to influence that ad hoc committee. And even in this article, it does say that they're trying to limit the power that the MPs have that are part of the ad hoc committee towards the witnesses. So they want to control and shift the narrative. They want the power to be back to them. And they did that first by selecting the chairperson, that is ANC. Now we see them slowly but surely revealing the true colors as to why they had a chairperson that is ANC. Number one, guys, I want you to look at this video. In this video, we see that the points of other parties like Action SA, like the EFF, they are written in small hyperlinks there on the side. And this document in brackets and in red, because the EFF is red, and that's what they will do. And on top of that, they will then, when it comes to the ANC views, they will write in green and it will form part of the text. To those ones who've written essays and maybe you've asked your friend or you've asked your lecturer to review your paper, you should understand that in most cases when that happened, the lecturer would normally have hyperlinks and say, reference here, and say, please elaborate further, and all of that. It's to just advise you. It's just an advice. You decide whether or not to form part of the document. But in this context, we see them using the same strategy. Why not make it to form part of the paper and write it and put the colors like green ANC, yellow MKP, blue DA, and just find ways on how you can distinguish these parties instead of having hyperlinks. And that became a problem because it seemed as if their views are more privileged than other views. Actually, they got busted during that process because this is what the ECIC said. Malema.
Chair, it's also not correct to say there are EFF inputs there. We didn't make any input on 3.1. You see, he's just talking. He doesn't know what he's talking about. The DA made an input on 3.1. The DA's input is not there. The ANC's input is well written there. The EFF on 1.5 made an input. When we were speaking to it, it was not there. They were trying to type when Honorable Mates was still speaking. What is that? Don't make us children. They just decided to ignore our inputs and put them there. Why are they not here?
They knew what they're doing. They were not being foolish. They definitely knew that they intentionally trying to control the whole narrative. Tomorrow they'll say that, oh, your views guys got stolen, they disappeared. They're going to make excuses so that they can triumph. They will try to make excuses so that their views become the founding documents, the documents that the committee ends up referring to. Hence, they'll just put them in the as hyperlinks, and then tomorrow when the hyperlink disappears, because sometimes those things happen, then they will say that, oh, it's not our fault, it's the document. And the slow progress of it shows that it's the delay tactic that they're using, because all of that was not necessary. They're just going to write in one document, conduct that meeting properly, then move on. But they spent a lot of time, which makes you wonder, are they even going to finish in time? And what is more alarming is that after they've done that, an ANC member comes and tries to rectify, to say that, oh, okay, we saw it. Please hear it from him.
That the concern that has been raised both by Honorable Malema and Honorable Diana Bernard, both the EFF and the DA, I agree fully with them. You see now the document that is being put on the screen is a document that was submitted by the DA. It's not the main document through which the input of various parties are integrated. Now we are then running into a problem, and I think the concerns they are raising, that for instance, right from the beginning when the EFF said, we have made an intervention here, then it was written in red, that EFF intervention, without it being reflected on the main document. While the other inputs, like the one of the ANC, appears to have been integrated. So what the Honorable Malema is raising is a concern that I think we should all be worried about. What is then my proposal, Chair? You see now where I think we are going is that we are being exposed to the document of each party as opposed to an integrated document where party inputs have been taken into consideration. I think the team should have said to us, 10 minutes was not enough. I was worried when you said, let's start. And the first person who spoke, he said, we've got something to work on. I said to Kusel on the side, what is that supposed to mean? We have something to work on. And it's exactly what was subjected to now, that not all inputs are already integrated into one document. Now, if we are going to shackle between the main document and party submissions, we will get confused, Chair. My proposal is that if the team needs more time to integrate the inputs into one document, they should be making that proposal to you in the meeting so that we deal with it, rather than shackling between the main document and individual submissions.
From this view, this guy is a chief whip of the ANC. And you guys will think that, not all ANC members are rotten. No, all of them, they're rotten. And you must know one thing about the ANC. ANC is very similar to rats. Rats, whenever they bite you, then they blow so that you don't feel the pain. And you'll feel the pain when they are done. Then tomorrow when you check, you're like, oh my God, I've been bitten by a rat. That's how the NC acts. And this is a prime example of that. They did that intentionally. They knew what they're doing. And then when they got busted, their members like, oh, we're not supposed to do that. Let us be fair. Let us be what. Don't believe the ANC. Secondly, I want to also address the issue of control, that they want to control the narrative. And one of the reason why I say that is because, number one, they changed this whole thing from being an investigation to being an inquiry. How many inquiries are we supposed to have? I thought the Zondo inquiry is enough. Why is Parliament also inquiring? I thought that Parliament is supposed to investigate. And this is what Kuselo Diko said about the ANC. Kuselo Diko, mind you, is an ANC member.
The word investigate raises some questions. Our understanding is that this process is inquisitorial in nature, it's fact-finding, but the powers to investigate in the lawful interpretation of the word investigate lies with other institutions of state. Hence, then, you will see that we made a proposal there that we are proposing that we inquire into the veracity of the allegations made by Lieutenant General Mkhwanazi regarding, and we specifically said the violations of the conduct that is expected of the executive authority and persons serving in other organs of state, obviously in accordance with the powers of the National Assembly to maintain oversight and ensure accountability on all executive organs of the state. So I suppose we still to come back and discuss, Chair, but that is our motivation for wanting to rephrase the word investigate. Thank you so much.
So they knew very well that the intention was never to investigate. The intention is to have more than one inquiry so that they can have findings, have just findings of the facts, nothing more than that. Secondly, they also want to control, they want to have control over the witnesses. They said that witnesses have to submit sworn statements, consult their legal representatives outside. By the time they come here to the committee, they should not be having legal representation. They should be able to speak for themselves. What is that? That is you putting people in a vulnerable position. People already, they can't afford legal representation with the economy of South Africa and the economy of Ramaphosa. How would people afford legal representation so that by the time they come to the committee, they're already, here? This is just a formula to make this whole process to fail so that people can come there, seem as if they are lying, and they can easily manipulate them, especially the ANC. I'm hoping that the opposition parties, for example, like the CIC, Julius Malema, they're not going to allow this because it's very embarrassing and disappointing that witnesses are not going to be protected. Thirdly, to show that they want to control this whole thing and Ramaphosa knows what he's doing, they agreed to this ad hoc committee. The ANC never agrees to ad hoc committees, guys. Remember when the DA asked for an ad hoc committee to investigate the allegations of Phala? They didn't agree. At that time, ANC was majority. They didn't agree. And remember that Phala is very important, but it was never investigated because at that time, the ANC was able to control the narrative. They knew what is going on. They knew, just like they know now what is going on. They agreed to this ad hoc because they know that, okay, people are going to see them for who they are. So let us agree to this ad hoc, but cover it very quickly so that people don't see that we actually agreed on it, but we are still in control. We know what we are doing. Ramaphosa and the ANC are not fools. They know what they're doing. And another thing, guys, if you guys can remember, Cyril Ramaphosa is the very president that was said a long time ago, I think it was last year, that he has left the presidency. He's left the position of being the president of South Africa a long time ago. Even the Secretary General of the ANC did say it himself. Let me remind you guys what he said. He was even heavily criticized by Malema as well as Tabane. That he's long gone. He's a president that is long gone. Let me play you guys those two videos.
Guys, the president has resigned. And you all know that. President wrote a letter. The people who work with him, the people who typed his speech, told me it's done, Chief. We're done. We're just waiting for the time to call a press conference. It's done. Until a faction went to persuade him the same day not to resign. His conscience has concluded that he doesn't have what it takes to be a president. The body might be there. The guy is gone.
I'm conflicted. I have the sense of integrity to be able to step out of the way and say I am conflicted on this, and I've ingrained that in the way I do things all the time, so that fingers should never be pointed at one about either favoring oneself when you are conflicted.
You cannot hide perpetual. At some point you'll say, hey guys, let me just go. That's what I'm anticipating. He almost resigned. There's a resignation letter somewhere. He just said nobody has leaked it. Right? So he's tired. He's gonna go, he's gonna take them through the elections and then leave them with their Paul Mashatile or something. But I don't see him finishing his second term. That would be absolute miracle. In any event, there's no history of that in the last 3 presidents of them finishing their terms. But because the guy's tired and doesn't need it, he's a billionaire, assumably.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't need the headache, really. They just said, no, you're going to kill us if you leave now. He says, okay. I think there must have been a background deal that says, all right, after the elections, I'm leaving.
So I don't know why you guys were being fed someone that doesn't want to be here. It's like you being given food that you don't want and someone feeds the food inside of you. What are you going to do? You're going to vomit. And that's what Cyril Ramaphosa is doing. For example, look at this national dialogue. This is what he said today in the morning.
Our country is not where it ought to be. We all agree that there are many things that are broken in our country. Getting together, talking to each other, we should be able to find solutions on how we can put many of the things that are broken in our country together. This initiative is about what all South Africans must do together to make our lives and our country better. It is also about getting leaders to be able to realize what worries South Africans and how leaders themselves can be engaged in understanding the lives of South Africans and be accountable. And to look, yes, as my sisters were saying here, to look behind and see whether there are still people who are following them.
How can you be in power and not know what people want? For 31 years, you don't know what people want, but you know the corruption. You know how corrupt your ministers are. Because when I say that Cyril Ramaphosa knows anything, I'm referring to the corruption. I'm referring to them being looters of note. That's what I'm referring to. I'm not referring to the plight of black people. The plight of black people, he doesn't care about it. He's an elite. At the end of the day, he said that he's even a billionaire. Hence, he's saying that the power is yours. You must know what to do. Njani, how is it possible that you are a president and you don't know what your people want? You don't know what is lacking, because we want to hear from you what you have on the table. Then we can comment on that and how you can improve on that, instead of asking us to give you ideas from the beginning. 31 years, what have you been doing? That national dialogue is even chaotic. He is constantly vomiting the poor. He is busy feeding us to him. He is busy feeding. They're busy feeding us to him, even though he said it a long time ago that he doesn't want to be there. Hence, things are going to be the way they are. You can't give someone leadership when they don't want to be a leader. You can't make someone to do something that they don't want to do. He sounded out a long time ago. Hence, he doesn't care about the poor. He only cares about his friends in politics, his comrades. He only cares about the ANC saving the face of the ANC, ensuring that the legacy of the ANC of corruption and looting continues, because that's what he knows. But the plight of black people, he doesn't know. Oh my God, what a shame. What a shame to be a South African. What a shame to be poor. What a shame to be the ground force. What a shame to be a citizen. Because he says that he doesn't know what you want, but he knows the corruption of the ANC and he's doing everything to conceal and hide it. I don't know. You guys comment your thoughts and tell me what you think. Otherwise, I'm saying come next year, we need to vote these people out. Come next year. As to who's going to come next, we'll deal with it after we voted the ANC out.
There is a moment for a leader of a country to show leadership, to lead his nation. Cyril Ramaphosa missed the moment. He was outside. Mkhwanazi told us what he knows. We're all shocked. We're expecting that he was going to be decisive. That's Cyril Ramaphosa. He did not act like a leader. He has completely forgotten his responsibilities. Let me tell you.
We cannot have a president that doesn't know your cries, but knows the cries of Senzo Mchunu and pays him with the taxpayers' monies and gives him a job and then puts him on leave, paid leave. He knows the corruption, but he doesn't know what you as a black person want, what you as a white person want, what you as a colored person, as an Indian person, he doesn't know what you want, but he knows what is best for corruption of the ANC. Hey, you guys decide. You tell me what you think about that ad hoc committee. That thing is a fail. Already it's a fail, and I think it will take another 10 years or so. 6 months is too much for that ad hoc committee. They're already fighting because the NDC is pushing its narrative through the committee. But who am I? End of the day, you are the one who votes. You are the one who decides where your vote goes. You are the one who decides who deserves your vote. Nonetheless, guys, please comment your thoughts. Tell me what you think. I'll see you on my next upload. Bye.